In this video, Christopher is going to take a deep dive into the "Stop Setting Up for a Slice" video he did recently. When this is done correctly, is when you are going to discover what Mr. Hogan was really doing in his setup. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. In this video, what we're going to do is, there's been some questions about when I was saying that you're setting yourself up in your posture for a slice. And what I did is, I took this and got set up, and I'm like, look, you got to point it to where your intended direction is going. And a lot of people, for some reason, are having a hard time understanding that. So what I want to do is we're going to take a deep dive into this subject matter. And instead of me just doing this, I'm going to show you something as plain as day, and it'll make absolute sense to you, hopefully. If we had a rifle in our hand, we would be exactly like this, right? So if I was going to shoot that rifle right at you, this part of the rifle would sit right here where I would know I'd be able to look at it, aim, and go from there, okay? So then what I want you to do is when we have the rifle up like this, then all I want you to do is point it down to where the golf ball would be. Right now, when you do that, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But now in the golf swing, if we were grabbing a club, so the rifle is here, I'm going to point it down to the ground. But the second I put my right hand lower than my right and then pick it up again, look where it's going to point. You can do this yourself. Look where it's going to point, out to the right of my intended target, okay? So now we've got to understand, I'm pointing it at the ball. My right hand would be lower. So now I just want to point it to my target, not to parallel to my target with the upper body, this point. So all of a sudden it's here, it's pointing down. Now I'm just going to turn it there. And when I do this, and when you do this, hopefully, you're going to feel things that you have never felt before. You're going to feel the insides of your legs. You're going to feel here. You're going to feel this. You're going to feel the insides of your feet, because if you're taking the rifle and then I get my right hand lower, it's pointing me out here. But the second I go like this, you're going to feel this resistance in this area here, and you'll be like going, I'll be damned. This feels like it goes like this. Squatting a little bit is the sensation that I'm trying to explain. So it feels like I'm loading into all this stuff as I point the scope of what my rifle would be at that target. So now all of a sudden, when I set up, I'm like this. And then it's real easy because I've kind of wound all this stuff up by pointing the rifle to where I want to go. Now I've got this sensation like Hogan with the trigger to be able to make things move. Rifle, ball, target. Rifle, ball, target. And when you do that, you're not only going to feel this stuff, you're going to feel some stuff going on in your lats. You're just going to feel things you have never felt in your life. And because I'm pointing at my target, my chest is slightly open. But guess what this promotes? When I come back, and then when I'm coming down, because I've started from an open position, guess what? My brain is going to go, oh, I need to go to that target. Okay, I'm going to shoot something, right, with the rifle. Now I'm going to get square. Okay, now I'm going to shoot something with that rifle. And look, I wouldn't shoot a rifle square like this. I mean, I wouldn't do it. If I was square, I would, angle my body. If my feet were square facing us, I would angle my body to be able to shoot something from this position. Normally you wouldn't do that, but if you were square and you had to do it, your body is going to compensate, right? So then all of a sudden, let's pretend we're square and let's come down to the ball. So now I've got to get there. So my body automatically is making these adjustments that we need to make. And now what I call the rudder, Think of it like a scope on a gun. I am going to go in that direction. I'm telling my brain, that's where I want to go. So then when you get set up like this and you're going to feel all this stuff, it's going to be like, wow, I've never felt that before. You know, you can do the waggle like Hogan. And then when you come down, you're going to be going here, like coming around your body. But now we know the scope or the rifle has to be going to my target. And then look at how my body will rotate and come through. It's pretty simple to understand. But a lot of you are like, I wouldn't say a lot of you. Some of you are like, wow, that's an epiphany moment. Others are like, there's just no way in hell that's what Hogan was doing. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Hogan sat up with a slightly open bias in his upper body. And then when he did that, it kind of moves all this stuff. Because you saw when the other video, I had Hogan up there and my knees were right here and they weren't there. But when Hogan does it, you can see how this knee has kind of gone like this. This is open and this is pointing damn right to my target. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. And because of that, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's not the reason that you hit a slice. It is one of the governing factors to the reason you can't close the club head when you're coming into the shot. As simple as pie. Because if your body and your brain goes, hey, I'm set up to come over here. So no matter what you do, especially when you drop the arms like this, with this elbow going like this, and then try to come through, good luck. You are not going to close that club face. Because the intention and the way that you get set up is telling your brain, I want to shoot the rifle 20 to 30 yards of my target. But when I get here and I point the rifle, and then I'm not really twisting open like this. I'm just, what is it going to take to point the rifle, this part of it, to where, there's my target. And these little subtle moves that get made, you start feeling these internal feelings that I guarantee you've never felt in your life. And then all of a sudden it's like, so now I'm going to leave everything here. I'm going to come down and grip the club, put my head there, and then I'm good to go. Because I'm presetting all these wonderful things to happen. But now, because the rifle was pointed here, I'm able to, look at this, pelvis pushes back, everything comes through. It's just the way it's going to work. So remember, rifle, down, pointed to my target. Rifle, down, point it to my target. And you're just not gonna believe what is fixing to happen in your golf swing. Now we're gonna get into some of the other things and some of the other questions. So make sure you come back and watch the videos. I appreciate it and hope everybody's learning something. We'll see you in the next video.